Hey everybody, welcome to the chilled live stream on Thursday. We are on episode 56. Before we get started, I just got a membership video to show you guys, and then we'll get straight into this chilled session. So give me 1 second and I'll be right back in 1 minute. So, you want to join my membership?
Gotcha. Sign up.
By joining, you won't only unlock members-only content, you'll also be supporting my channel and the growth of the community. Are you ready to do your part?
I'm doing my part.
For as little as a price of coffee a month,
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
you'll be able to access all past live streams and get exclusive members-only content.
Yeah, boy.
That's less than 49p a video.
Shut up and take my money.
So if you're ready, join now and become part of this 3D journey.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Alright, so as you saw there, you can become a member of the YouTube channel and you can unlock the tutorials from Monday. So that's the Dragon tutorial from Dragonheart, the Anatomy tutorial, and the Doom tutorial, which we're doing at the moment. So if you become a member, you can unlock those ones, as well as full-length videos of my time-lapse videos from the past. Every other week I put a new one up, so you guys can sit back and relax to the lo-fi music and see the process of sculpting from ZBrush to Photoshop concepts, the full length. As well as that, you can become a Patreon on tier level 3. You'll be able to unlock the exclusive tutorial on how to sculpt a Velociraptor, which is a full tutorial. From beginning to end, it's great for beginners and experienced artists. As well as the tutorial that they're going through at the moment, which is the Golem tutorial, which is a new video every Wednesday until the course is done. So if you want, you can become tier level 3 member and you can unlock that as well. Now, before we get started, I'll just put the comments on. Remember, you can ask me anything you like tonight because it's just a chilled session. It's not like the Monday one, which is more of a tutorial style. So if you want to ask me anything, you can just go ahead and ask away. Before we get into that, though, there is news. I think everybody knows this now from online, that Flip Normal's online market store is closing. And they're having a massive sale event going on at the moment until the 31st of March. And I'm having a massive sale event. So until the 31st of March, you can get 70% off everything on the Flip Normal site on my online store. That's everything, by the way, until the 31st of March. After that, then it's going to be closed. So if you want, grab what you want at a very, very cheap price as well. I'll just show you the scene. So let me just jump into the main scene quick. You can see the ticker tape below. You can tell you where to find the link to it's in the description box below. And whoops, I'm not sharing anything. 1 second, I'm going to just share my screen again. Share that. Yeah, we've got the ZBrush open. And I'm just going to pull this over to the side. So this is my online store. So you can see the prices are pretty good. And I mean, if you haven't got the tutorials yet, so the ZBrush tutorials are pretty cheap now. They're going for $6 to $9 to $13. So if you wanted these tutorials, best get them now, because after the 31st, you will not be able to actually get any of this. So everything's 70% off. Even bundles are 70% off. Models, ZBrush models, ZBrush brushes, you name it, it's all 70% off. So if you want it, grab it in the description box below. You can find the link there. Just go, it'll be automatically taken off at the till. Again, once this 31st is done, that's it. The store is going to be closed, then you won't be able to get these deals again. All right, so where was I? Let's just grab, where is that? Wait, 1 second. There it is. All right, got it. Cool. Got the music on. Got my model out. Now, I remember last week I sort of mentioned that I was going to do some sculpt work outside of the live stream on this guy, but I actually couldn't find any time during the week because I've been busy with other things. But I did do a little bit in the boots. I've kind of made them a bit big down here, so we might have to adjust these. I'm thinking I might have to go whole hog and just separate all these armor pieces from the main piece in order to get a better result, but I'm not going to focus about that tonight. What I'm going to focus on is the head, actually, the head tonight, which is the helmet. So just going to zoom in here because we haven't actually done anything with the helmet yet, and I just want to get some sort of blocked out version of the helmet done tonight and see how far we can go with it, as well as talk about other things that are going on recently in the 3D world. I'm sure everybody knows or has seen something to do with Nvidia's DLSS product that they have. It's been massive in the news at the moment for the entertainment industry. I wonder if anyone else has actually seen it yet. Just gonna make this chest a little bit bigger as well. 1 second. Okay. Make it wider. I've noticed that we pulled the piece so close together previously that we forgot to have that little bit of depth to the character, or a little bit of width to the character even. So if you look at Halo guy here, you can see his sort of armor plating is quite wide. Hello. Oh, got some hellos here. So, hello, Joseph. Nice to see you again. And Cakester, always a pleasure. And tomorrow as well. Hope you guys are good. So, like I was saying, yeah, just looking at these sort of chest plates, especially like this guy here, he's got quite a wide chest plate. And I think what we did was we actually we made it smaller. In fact, that's a major thing that I found with this character that we're doing, is that we've sort of, whilst we were sculpting and pushing and moving things about a bit, we've actually made him smaller than what he should be. So he should actually be a bit chunkier because of the design of the suit. So just gonna chunk him up a bit. Even the legs could be chunky. In fact, I think the feet are pretty good. They could probably be a little bit smaller in the width of the shoes. But the idea is to later on come in and sort of make the armor pieces a little chunkier on the character. Anyway, let's grab the head. Like I said, I was going to work on the head, so we will forget about the body for tonight, and we're just going to use the head now. Oh, we've got a question here. Caser says, when you finish this design, is there any chance you could show your process of modeling a fish or shark in the next Thursday live stream series? Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. It's always good to have a topic to do after before the end of a topic that we're on at the moment. So if that's what you got, if that's what you want, then that's definitely something I can do. Yeah. ANG4721 says hello. Hello. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the head, because the best way to sort of do a helmet is to make sure that you have a head that sits in the helmet. Otherwise, you'll, like we do with the body, you'll start to sculpt the head and you'll start to sculpt the helmet, but you won't have any reference underneath. So then you'll find that the head pokes through bits of the helmet. So the idea is to make it fit around the head, using a head as a reference. So just going to come in here, geometry, dynamesh, and just dynamesh this head quick. So yeah, like I was saying in the beginning, has anybody else seen the news about Nvidia and what they've been doing this week by any chance? With their sort of showcase of what they've been up to and what they plan to be up to with the latest sort of, it's called a DLSS. I was kind of like thinking to myself, what the hell does that mean? You know, when they're first talking about it, what the hell is a DLSS? But it's apparently a beauty. From what I could tell on the socials, the people in the social media, it's basically AI beautifying, right? So what it does is what they've done is they've made something that could help with the rendering of lights and textures, sort of give it like a beauty overhaul, right? To make it look, I don't know if it'll make it look better, but it will make it look sharper, right? And at first glance, you think to yourself, "Whoa, bloody hell, that looks amazing." You know, that's gonna save so much time, and all that sort of thing. Obviously, if you're a character artist, you don't or a game developer, you don't want this sort of technology to become a thing, because you'll be out of a job. And that was the first sort of worry I found with the sort of 3D world, is that people started to sort of panic a little bit. But then once I started watching some YouTube content creators or video game sort of players and stuff like that, you know, those sort of people who see the bigger picture a little bit faster, it sort of got me thinking it's not going to be too much of an issue, I think, because it's widely being rejected, I think, from the gaming community, not just the creators of games, but the players as well. They don't want this sort of stuff in their games, you know. I just found that really inspiring, because if the general public think that it's a stupid thing to sort of work on, then at least it'll save the gaming sort of the gaming industry a little bit, hopefully, in the future. But yeah, I wonder what you guys thought, because like I said, it was very interesting to see it first glance, but then when you really look at it and you really think about it, I think it's a bad idea, because, well, obviously I'm going to say it's a bad idea because I'm a game developer, game artist, so I will say that. But I think it's also a bad idea because it kind of takes away the character of characters, you know. How do I say this? A lot of people were basically saying that it's AI slop. It's the AI beauty. You know, when you get a mobile phone and you could put like an app or filter, that's the word, filter, to make your face look better. Well, that's basically what that is, right? Well, from what I could see, that's what it is. It's just a beauty filter for the graphics. And when I looked at that, because I haven't played the game, but I've watched people play it, because I just don't have time to play the game. But I do watch like content creators, like I say, gamers play these games, and they were playing Resident Evil Requiem, and the character, the female character that's portrayed in the demo of the DLSS, in the game, she's kind of portrayed as a very shy, very meek character at the beginning. I've only seen the beginning, I haven't seen all the way through yet, so don't spoil anything. But she's sort of portrayed as a very sort of, I don't want to say weak, but I want to say timid, shy, you know, sort of within herself. And it's sort of, it comes across in the facial expressions and the face that the character artist has actually created, right? And when that DLSS thing slid over, it kind of took all of that away. and it gave her a bit more of a girl boss type look. You know, it didn't give her any character. It was just blank. It was just a blank look. I think another thing that really, you know, made me think with that slider of the character. Let me try and find the image actually. 1 second. This one. Whoops. Copy image. I'm going to put it in here. I'll show you guys. Yeah. All right. Hope you guys can see this. Just zoom in. So I know it's a bit. If you look past the photorealism that DLSS 5 puts onto the character, so you look past all of that, right? What I'm saying is, the one on the left has a character. This one doesn't have a character. This one looks like a Instagram model, right? The one on the left has character to it. You know, I think the biggest thing that it changed was the eyes. So if you look at the eyes on the DLSS without on, her eyes are really got that real cool blue, ocean blue, like sort of grayish, or ocean blue grayish tone to them, right? And it's very expressive, right? But then you look at the one with the DLSS on, and I can understand because it's trying to put shadow and all that sort of thing onto the character where the other one doesn't. But the eyes look dead to me. It just looks like it just looks like a Instagram model to me, you know. And I think this is one of those ones where, yeah, I mean, she looks. You not think that she looks more girl boss rather than shy and timid, you know? That's what I think. She looks more girl boss in the right-hand one than on the left-hand one. Now, obviously, there are other ones. We just try and find other ones quick. This one's bad. So we got this one from Hogwarts, right? Hogwarts Legacy. Which, by the way, is a bloody good game. And Cakester, if you haven't played that yet, then I'm very disappointed in you. But you can see from the Hogwarts Legacy one, even Hogwarts Legacy, at least, I mean, she is an old woman, right? I guess she's an old witch. That's not something, you know, I'm not being rude or anything. She's a witch. She's old. But the DLSS 5 just made her look even worse. You know, this one reminded me of a lot of the Family Guy episode when Peter buys an HD TV and the news comes on and they see her in HD for the first time, the news reporter, and it's all this wrinkles and beauty spots and all that, and then that guy comes along and kicks her off the screen. Yeah, so I think this is not great. This is rubbish in my eyes. This DLSS stuff that's going on here. It does it enhance it, yes, but I still think that if you're gonna have a game, it's a form of art, right? So it's an artistic expression of whatever you're trying to create. You can't just go ahead then and take what an artist has created and just slap a filter on it and say, okay, this is it now. Because what's the point then? You know, what's the point in doing any of what we're doing or what I'm doing at the moment, or what you're learning to do? You might as well just wait until this right hand one comes along and just learn how to do that instead of actually learning how to create the left hand side. It just it's annoying as shit to me. Caser says, I saw something about it. Apparently it can upscale the graphics in real time or something. Yeah, I don't think it does. It's AI driven, and I've seen some images where the character's eyes are squinted, or it's kind of in slow motion. Well, slow motion. The frame rate, if it's moving too fast, it'll start to do a sort of blur, like a distortion on around it. So it's not great. Tomorrow says, I wonder if will be a kind of fix in a post tool where the temptation will be to not worry as much about visual polishing in-house and let the DLSS polish everything to the max. Yeah, I saw an image. Actually, there's so many memes about this thing. By the way, it's fucking hilarious. Oh, Celestial says evening. You're just 25 minutes late. Don't worry, still got plenty of time. Case says, I see what you mean with the left one looking shy and the right one looking more confident and model-like. Yeah, could you imagine playing Resident Evil Requiem, right? This one. Can you imagine playing Resident Evil Requiem and then turning on the DLSS 5 and watching this very confident-looking character be very shy and awkward? It just doesn't. It wouldn't work. I don't think it would translate well. You know. A&G says, yeah, I saw that. Saw some guys are making memes of them. Yeah, there are some funny ones out there. Tomorrow says, yep, the one on the left is better. Casey says, it's nothing that an extra year of development can't fix those, so still very concerning. Yeah, the thing about that is, I think these big publishing houses, like the big game houses, and not just game, the film development as well, because you know that once they put this into games, they're going to put it straight into films as well, or they probably have already. They're just trying to get product out faster, right? Faster. Doesn't matter if it's broken, because you can do it post launch type thing. In fact, that's how studios work mostly these days. Is they push something out and then they'll fix it afterwards, which is completely stupid. Because I remember when video games like came on a disc. I know this is going to shock you a lot, but video games used to come on a CD, and before that they came on a card, right? A little card. I don't know how many of you guys are boomers or older generation, but they used to come on a CD, and if it wasn't a viable game on the CD, by the time it got onto CD, then it would not sell, because people would buy the CD, put it in the games machine, press play, nothing would happen. You know, there was no fixing it afterwards. It was just, here's a CD, here's a timeline you got, and to put this idea onto a CD, and then it's going to be shipped. So make sure your ass is going to get that thing done before. Nowadays, it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll fix it later. You know, I think I've mentioned that about No Man's Sky before. How they said, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll just fix it afterwards, which is just stupid. Casey says, yeah, no, I haven't played it. My friends have recommended it though. Yeah, I guess that's Hogwarts. Yeah. Comics Legend says, it actually looks pretty good. Oh, God. No, it doesn't. Ugh. Casey says, I think the DLSS 5 would be better for architectural visualizations or scientific research. I think, yeah, just why even bother? Well, I know why they're bothering, because they want to show it off, right? I think the main thing about that whole presentation, it wasn't to piss off, you know, game developers and gamers and stuff. It was actually just them showing off technology. I think they were just trying to show what it could do in the future, and giving us a sort of taster of what it could do in the future, right? But I think what they did was they stepped on some eggshells while showing it, and I don't think people are very impressed, because I don't know about you, but I would prefer AI to be looking for a way to get us to fucking Mars, or calculations for mathematical equations, cancer research, world hunger, oil, power. You know, I mean, I'm guessing that they're already doing this, but to put money into development for something that is not needed, like this, I think it's a waste of time. I think it's just a big waste of time, and it's pissing off the right people, really. And I think that's the case these days. I think it's just clickbait. It's just clickbait, you know. It's nothing new. They're just doing it so they can become relevant again in the eyes of the... Oh, that's actually quite a nice helmet. I might use that one instead. They're just trying to be relevant still. Trying to make it so people don't forget that they're still working on stuff. But yeah, I'm not impressed by it. I think it's a massive waste of time. Tomorrow says, I'm old enough to remember when a floppy disk was actually a floppy bit of plastic. Yeah, the floppy disk. There's a funny thing about that. My dad, because he was around when computers first started, and like literally first started coming out as something to use in the sort of industry or whatever. And he said there's two types of discs back then. There was one called the floppy disk and one called the stiffy. So you'd either have a floppy or a stiffy, you know. Oh the god, why would you call it a floppy and a stiffy? Comics Legend says if people didn't know it was AI, then would praise it. Is it just hate for AI? Possibly. I think there is a massive turn-off to AI at the moment. Because, I mean, so many people are losing jobs. And that's, you know, actual fact that people are losing jobs to AI. I think I saw somewhere recently that Google's AI was so efficient at what it was doing that it actually prompted the sacking of, like, what was it, 10,000 people? Because it could just do what 10,000 people could do. So the company just said, okay, well, if AI can do it, then we don't need 10,000 people, you know. So what are those 10,000 people, or supposedly 10,000 people, gonna do? You know, they can't just. I mean, some of them, all they've done is learnt to code or whatever, and now they just found themselves without a job. So it's just like, what's the end game at the end of the day? That's the most important thing. What is the end game for with this AI stuff? Is everybody just going to be sitting at home being content creators like Ready Player One or something like that, you know, instead of actually having a proper job? And we just get paid a certain amount of money from the government every month to live, like a stipend or something like that. I can see that happen, to be fair. Casey says, the economy is so fucked now that companies are so concerned with making money that they have completely forgotten that video games are meant to be focused on art, story, and gameplay. Yeah. I think it's also because they spend so much money on the technology, that's hyper technology stuff, that, you know, it's sitting doing nothing most of the time, and so they have to try to use it and use its development. Otherwise, it's a waste of money. That's hard. I don't know. Celestials says, I read a post that a programmer with the help of AI and a bunch of scientists found a cure from cancer for his dog. Oh wow. So why can't they just, you know, I guess, yeah, I mean, there's winners and losers, right? This is how it is. It's winners and losers when it comes to this stuff. So you could find the cure for cancer. Now I'm probably going to put my tinfoil hat on in a moment, right? But you could find the cure for cancer, right? But then who's going to be there to stop you from actually proving it, that you've from developing the cure? Well, I'm guessing the sort of pharmaceutical giants are going to stop you, because the only way they make money is by selling drugs and making people dependent on drugs, you know. So you got yourself a headache there to start with, and you'll probably find that you know, if you think about it, they probably have found a cure for cancer. It's just that they're not allowed to bring it out, maybe. But that's my tinfoil hat. I should get a tinfoil hat sometimes. Yeah, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I just feel like if they use this program or this sort of AI stuff for that type of good, like Celestial said, then you know, it wouldn't need it for the game development or whatever. Oh, it just gets on my nerves, really. Comics Legend says that is true. Lots of jobs lost due to AI. And Casey says, nah, governments would just kill us, bro. They don't give a... Yeah, true. They don't give a stuff about us. I know. You don't have to tell me twice. I mean, living in England right now is just... Yes. I don't want to get on to the government stuff. I think it's just really bad in every country, not just, you know, England, but in the whole of Europe as well. It's just everything's fucked. Anyway, Casey says the people we listen to medical advice from work for companies that profit from our sickness. Scary really. Yeah, I know. Anja 4721 says even big brands are using AI for their advertisements now. To be honest, I don't really see the point or the value in it. Yes, fair enough. I mean, I've noticed. I don't know if you guys. I mean, I'm a YouTube hog, right? So I'll just sit there and I'll literally sit in my lounge and turn the TV on and put YouTube on, because that's pretty much where I get all my entertainment. And the amount of thumbnails now that are just AI thumbnails, like, it's just slop. Everything looks like slop on YouTube. You know how a thumbnail is supposed to entice a person to want to watch that video, right? But I've seen thumbnails on YouTube now from multiple creators that look exactly the same. It's like they all have this one algorithm they use, and then they just type in a different name or a different thing here or there, and it just spits out something slightly different, but still has the same style of thumbnail. And I think that's really fucking lazy, to be fair. I mean, I'm here working my backside off on YouTube to make proper looking videos, editing videos and thumbnails, and you know, it just takes a biscuit, really. Tomorrow says, sounds like that Keanu movie Chain Reaction, where he discovers how to make fuel out of water and the bad guys try to take him out. You know, I think there was another conspiracy theory. Sorry about this. It's just conspiracy theory time, but I think there was another conspiracy theory where some guy out in America, back in the, I want to say the 80s, created a hydro car and was powered by water. And he had this technology. They apparently had this technology all the way back then, right? But for some reason he just disappeared. Like one day he just completely disappeared. And a lot of the people are saying that, you know, the oil industry got to him, the oil moguls got to him, and sort of stopped him from developing the technology to have water-powered cars. I don't know how much of that is true. Again, it's conspiracy theory time. But if that is the case, then we're just never going to have clean energy, are we? If that's the case. There's no such thing as clean energy, because the people at the top are just never going to allow for it. So, Celestial says, reminds me of a Black Mirror series. Yeah, Black Mirror. Do you know what the weirdest Black Mirror episode was? I'll jump off the conspiracy stuff right now. But the weirdest Black Mirror episode that I think was the game one. You know, that guy who goes abroad. I don't know where he went. Was it France? Or was it China? Or something like that. Anyway, he goes... Yeah, it must have been Asia. Anyway, he goes out to one of these places. He's like a backpacker, but he's also a video game tester, and he tests video games, and he goes out there and they take him to a private location to test a game out, and it's that horror one where he's in the the mansion. They put him in a mansion. It's like a virtual reality type game, but it's this chip that he puts in his head, and it sort of feeds off his fear, basically. I found that one to be a really, really cool episode. I won't spoil it because if other people haven't seen it yet, you know, I might ruin it, but definitely go watch that one. I can't remember what it's called though. If anyone could figure out what that one was called, that would be super handy. But yeah, I like Black Mirror episodes, but again, I feel like it's just hitting too close to home now with Black Mirror. You know, there was supposed to be a sci-fi show. It wasn't supposed to be or a dystopian sort of what was it called? Oh, that movie. What was it? I can't remember what the movie was called. It wasn't supposed to be real. You know, it was never supposed to be real. But I don't know. I don't think you even need Black Mirror episodes anymore. You just need to look out your front window and you could just see it for yourself. Like the government in England right now is trying to push forward a digital ID, right? Like the Chinese have. No offense to the Chinese, but you know that's just batshit crazy. I think to have a digital ID, because I've watched documentaries about the Chinese digital ID and how it works and all that sort of thing. And it was a Black Mirror episode where the lady with the mobile phone, so you had like a social credit score on your phone, and you could turn off people, you could mute people, or you could blur them if they were undesirables in the society. I mean, that's just a digital ID, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, they're going to put some sort of tracker on you, which is your mobile, and they're going to start telling people that if you have anything to do with someone who is an undesirable, then your credit score, your social credit score, will go down, just like they do in China. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a bit scary that our government wants to do that to us in England, really, because it's a very communist type thing to do, like have a barcode. You know, I mean, that wasn't seen to be a very good thing back in World War II, so I don't know how they're going to push that one forward, but yeah. College Legend says, what are your thoughts on Flip Normals shutting down their marketplace? I think they will start over on a new website with a new direction. Yeah, so the Flip Normals thing, I think it kind of came out of the blue, didn't it? Again, if you're watching this, you can see on the ticker tape below, there is a massive fire sale going on at the moment, so if you want, you can grab anything and everything on my Flip Normals for 70% off. That's including tutorials, brushes, and models, right? So go do that because you have until the 31st of March. So just go check that out. There's a description box below. There's a link to my Flip Normals. What do I think about Flip Normals closing down? Well, it was a surprise. I sort of just... I think I broke the news a bit early because I think that what they did was they contacted all the creators first, and then they brought out the news the next day. But I kind of jumped the gun and brought the news out earlier than it should have been. Anyway, yeah, pretty much a out of nowhere type thing. Just came out of nowhere, right? The news of Flip Normals closing. I think in the message they sent us, there was something about not being able to maintain or pay to make it a viable thing anymore, Flip Normal's site a viable thing anymore, so they have to close it. Again, you know, there's tinfoil hats coming on all the time. I think it's got to do. I think they're correct. They can't afford to pay people or keep the store online, and it's a lot of money to do that. But the government in our country is not making it easy for small businesses and for entrepreneurs to own businesses or whatever. And they're currently rolling out a new scheme or a new scheme in April, after April 6th, which is called the MTD, which is Make Tax Digital. Basically, in England, we currently, and we used to, have to pay our taxes every year, once a year, every year, right? So from the 6th of April to the 6th of, or from the 5th of April to the 6th of April is a tax year. And we have until January of the year to pay our taxes, right? So the government have now changed that to this Make Tax Digital thing, which I guess they're going to try and push into this digital ID that they want to start. Oh, it's just, everything's just going communist, guys. I'll just be honest with you. Everything's just fucking going communist in this country. Anyway, they want to make everything tax digital. So you have to report your earnings every quarter instead of at the end of the year, just file your taxes. It's a way of HMRC or the tax man to know what is coming in and out of your account every quarter. And I guess that is just too much of a hassle for small businesses to keep up with, because remember, you have to keep up with that as well as run a business and create content and create the product and talk to other businesses and market and all these other things, right? You cannot sit there. I know it's only about an hour or 2 hours a day for 4 times a year, but still, you have to, you know, it's a big thing to add that into your day-to-day life and keep a track of it as well. I mean, I've got a calendar, 2 calendars up on the wall, one for my YouTube stuff and one for my just year. And now I've got to put up with this Make Tax Digital thing because I sell stuff online. So I now have to be on this Make Tax Digital or MTD scheme, and I now have to report my earnings every quarter instead of just doing it at the end of the year like we used to. So I'm pissed off about it. I think that's probably the main reason Flip Normals is closing down. It's because they're going to get taxed to the hill as well, because the government's just going after everyone in this country at the moment. So go figure. Okay, so it says, have you heard of 3D Gaussian Splat? No. What is that? Let me know what that is in the comments. Playtest, that's the one from Black Mirrors. Thank you, Tomorrow. Semi Fredo says, it's actually very capitalistic. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but okay. Comics Legend says, for some reason I thought you lived in New Zealand. No. I know a lot of people think that I'm New Zealand, or I'm a New Zealander, but I'm not. I live in England. Sledger says, it was shocking to read about closing. They just had a contest. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're still sending me emails saying, you know, become a creator on Flip Normals and sell your stuff, so I guess they haven't quite, like, stopped the auto messages going out. Comics Legend said they mentioned server costs. Yeah, server costs, which then has to be put into the tax files and all that sort of thing. So, Celestial says we pay our taxes every quarter in Ukraine. What? That's ridiculous. That's just, I mean, that sort of thing is just stupid. You know, I think doing it once a year, like it should be, is fine. It should work, right? I mean, I make it a point at the end of each month to sit down for a whole afternoon on the weekend and do my taxes or file my bookkeeping type stuff by myself. I don't even have an accountant. But yeah, just to do that as well as do this quarterly bullshit. I don't know. This is the sort of thing that just makes me, you know, kind of want to give up on all this sort of sole trader or secondary income type thing, because it becomes pointless to do this stuff. Kesa says, 3D Gaussian splat is this new technique being used for creating scans. You basically use loads of high realistic photos and almost merge them, and it creates a hyper realistic 3D scan of it. That's interesting. I have to look into that. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Very interesting. Jill says, you'll get used to it. Yeah, I don't want to get used to it. I want a new government to come in and just say, we're scrapping this, we're not doing it, it's stupid, don't listen to what the previous government said. But I guess you're right, I'll have to get used to it. Like I said, I've already put it on this massive sort of calendar that I have, so it's just making sure that I remember to do it before the time ends. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass, man. And you know what? This is what makes a lot of people join the public sector rather than going private in this country. Because when you go public, into the public sector, like police officer, train drivers, school teacher, nurses, you know, anything that's public sector work, you don't have to worry about any of this tax business because the government does it for you. And then they'll also put money into a pension pot for you. But I mean, pension pots are fucking useless anyway as well. But they'll do everything for you, right? So you never have to worry about a thing. But as soon as you want to become, or want to try to become something, or do something with your life, the government is down your throat asking for money that you don't even have. You haven't even started making money, and the government's there with a handout. You know, gimme, gimme, gimme. Sort of bullshit. Sorry, I'm a bit of a tirade right now. I don't want to get into politics. Yeah, so anyway, enough about that. Anybody else see the Spider-Man trailer? The latest Spider-Man trailer? It came out yesterday, I believe. And what are your thoughts on it? Because I kind of think that the Sony Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man series, or yeah, the sort of series, I guess you could say, it's not bad. It's one of the better Marvel projects, really, even though it's owned by Sony. But it's still very good. Oh my god, what have I done with this helmet? I'm not sure I like this one. A second. I'm gonna bring out the head a bit more. I'm trying to keep the head of this character in line with the body of the armor, but it's kind of going very Mandalorian, I guess. Let's see if we can. Maybe we need to change it. We can't really do a Mandalorian, can we? We might just have to go back to being like a Halo style character. I think it'll be a bit more believable. All right, let's do that. You see, this is another good thing about sort of sculpting in the way that I do, is that I can just go in and at a whim change things. And it's all good. Quite like this idea. Oh, got some things here. Kesa says, I preferred the Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield. Really? I wasn't too impressed with Andrew Garfield. I think he had the correct character for Spider-Man, like the cockiness of Spider-Man, but I couldn't take him seriously. I just don't know if he's a very good actor. I'm not sure. Could be wrong though. Joseph says, how is the Almanac going? So the Almanac is kind of on pause right now because I've got another book cover that I have to work on for a client. So I'm kind of paused it. I will try to get back into it. I've got so many things that I've got to do, so I will get back into it. There's a couple of more. There's only a few more images that I have to what do you call it, rescale or beautify, and then I'm going to do another pass. Oh, no, sorry. Then I'm going to do another print of that book as a test, and if that comes out good, then I'll have a more clearer sort of timescale for when that will be available to order. So I gotta sort of think about things, because yeah, it's all messy right now. Everything that I'm doing right now is messy. There's so many things going on. Sammy Fredo says, barbaric. In Russia, we just have an easy app where you put your freelance income and they send you 6% tax bill next month. Is that like every month? Though? Do you have to do it every month? That's crazy. But, you know, I guess it's easier. But yeah, but I don't like, I don't know. Everything's just all over the place. AG4721 says, I've been posting my character models on ArtStation for a while, but don't have much industry experience yet. How can I reach out to new clients and find work? Any advice on where to start? Okay. Right. So I was in the same boat as you at the beginning of my my career. In fact, I made a post on LinkedIn. I think it's still on LinkedIn anyway, where I'm asking, like, because I was trying to find a job for like a year. Not much time, you know, a year's not long to try and look for a job, but I was looking for a year non-stop. And I eventually went on to ArtStation, LinkedIn, and I wrote a post sort of asking anybody who would, you know, read it, how do I get into the industry without experience and all these other things if people don't, you know, call back, sort of thing. And I guess the best advice that I could give is to just keep posting on ArtStation, LinkedIn, definitely LinkedIn. There's a lot of like opportunity. If you think of LinkedIn not as a professional job place, but more of a like, it's more like Facebook at the moment, to be fair. If you use it like Facebook and put your work up, because I still do that now, I still put my work up on LinkedIn to get noticed. But yeah, it's just you got to put, just keep posting. Look, if you're gonna go, you have to look on the websites as well. So if you go directly to the game's website, that will give the studio website to ask questions, like email them. If you go, you also have to get out to these gaming conventions and stuff like that, like not just gaming conventions, but work conventions for games, film. Try to talk to professionals, try to talk to people at these conventions, because you know you might be able to be recognized, and you could also take a sort of like a calling card and stuff like that, so you can sort of, what do they call that? I haven't done it for a while now. It's it's kind of like socializing, but it's more like shopping for a job. I forgot what it's called though. But yeah, also just keep posting your work, really. It's a pain, and I've been there, trust me. I think I was out of work for 3 years before I even got an opportunity, and in that time I was just constantly working on my portfolio, and also working a part-time job as well. So you will, especially nowadays, you probably will have to get a part-time job, unfortunately. Sorry, it's just one of those things that's happening right now, is that even professionals are finding it difficult to find a job at the moment. It's a difficult times right now. But yeah, sorry, that's what I could say. You also asked me, have you seen the Dune trailer? You know what? I'm not massively interested in Dune. Networking. Thank you, Tamara. Yeah, I'm not massively interested in Dune. I think it's one of those things that sort of, it should have had more legs as a film, sort of as a film, like franchise. It should have had more legs, right, under it. But I think it just came out at the wrong time. I think if it came out during the Marvels, like the hype of the Marvels time, or I don't know, when Star Wars was big or whatever, then it would have been a bigger thing. But I just don't feel the hype for Dune. You know, I don't know. It looks interesting, looks nice, but you know what it is? I watched the first one, and there was a lot of slow pans, beige. Everything was beige. Everything looked a bit dull. The acting was very stiff. Yeah, I don't. It's like watching the 10. Have you ever seen the film The 10 Commandments? The old film 10 Commandments with the guy from Ben-Hur. I forgot what his name was. Even Ben-Hur. It's one of those films. Like, you watching it, right? And you feel like you've been watching it for 5 hours, but you've only been watching it for an hour, and you're like, oh, for God's sake, where is the like the end of this film, right? Not something that I normally say about films. Like I like to watch films, and if it piques my interest, I want them to go on forever. But for the Dune film, I just felt like it was constantly just like that. You know, it's just that throughout, and it just never picked up. Obviously, I haven't seen the second or the third one yet. The third one isn't out yet, but I haven't seen the second one yet, and I just don't have. I'm just not in a rush to watch it. You know, it's not something that's piqued my interest too much. Joseph asks, "Can you talk about the cover?" I could. I mean, I have done the other two covers. It's basically I'm working on a series, a cover series. So it's by John Gwynne. So it's one of John Gwynne's books, or series books. I guess, you know, it's a special edition book cover for Ruin, the Fallen. What is it called? The Faithful and the Fallen. It's the third book cover of Ruin, but I can't really say much more about that. But yeah, it's the third book. I think there's 4 in total. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's going pretty good actually. Just had some good feedback. Sergio says, all I know about Tom Holland is that he's married Zendaya. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what though, Tom Holland's body, like physicality, is looking good for the latest Spider-Man film. But I don't know. It's one of the better franchises for Marvel at the moment, even though it's a Sony product. But I think people are a bit sick and tired of seeing Spider-Man as a sad puppy. You know, they want to see Spider-Man in his prime, where he's literally just a sarcastic prick, and sort of fights bad guys. And I think we haven't seen that yet in Spider-Man films very much. There was a little bit of it in Captain America. What was that? Captain America, Avengers, Captain America one. I can't remember what it's called. The Winter Soldier. I think it was not Winter Soldier. The other one. I can't remember what it's called. So many of these bloody films. Networking. Yep. Casey says, I thought Dune was so boring. Yeah. I'm surprised you even saw it, to be fair. I mean, you saw Dune, but you haven't seen Harry Potter yet. You know? and just says, thanks for the advice. No problem, mate. No problem. God, we haven't really got much done with this guy, have we? I think the helmet looking a little better. I just want to find... I really love the look of the Halo helmet, you know, it's just something about it that is just, it just screams cool. Oh, actually, just show you something. Let me just find it again. Trending. I saw something that was really cool on ArtStation. I'm just hoping that I can find it. Ah, right. So there's an artist called Angelos Karderinos from Greece. I'll just bring this over. Do you remember not last week, but the week before, I think it was a week before, I was discussing how the F-35 is possibly one of the most beautiful looking fighter jets that's ever been made. Just the way, the sleekness of it, and every single angle just looks absolutely beautiful. Well, I can say that same thing about the Star Wars Naboo fighter, this guy, the N1 Starfighter. This is just an absolutely beautiful looking spaceship, and this guy Angelos Karderinos, I'm sorry, I probably butchered your name. He kind of recreated it in 3D, and I gotta say, everything about this machine just screams cool, right? You got the World War II inspired Spitfighter. I believe it's the World War II inspired Spitfighter. That's the overall sort of shape of it, as well as the sort of 1980s kind of chrome finish like they had with cars and stuff like Grease Lightning type thing going on with this. The yellow is just an absolutely beautiful color choice for this sort of machine. The way the lasers on the front and the missile launcher in the bottom here, just underneath, just works perfectly. Everything looks perfect on this machine. Even the like engines look really cool, you know, the way they're designed. And I mean, this is just a thing of art. And it's actually quite a funny thing in the video here. They land now. If you watch this video, I haven't watched it with the sound on, but I sort of skimmed through it, right? And there was some design flaws that I didn't even pick up on. But the guy who created this, Angelos, he did pick up on it. What was it going to play? Was it going to play? Never mind. But there was a design flaw, like the little area where R2-D2 comes out, right? This little hatch here. If you think about it, R2-D2 can't actually fit his head out of here because the legs on the side would poke through as well, would poke through the geometry. And actually in that video I showed you, that's on the bottom of this, he actually goes into a lot of description on how he found out how they actually went about fixing that. And apparently the whole top part of the dome of R2-D2 lifts up and out the top, but the body is actually encased on the inside. Now there is actual images of this in these sort of anthologies of this sort of starfighters and stuff, like the Star Wars machines. I don't know if you've seen them, where they have like an X-ray vision of the spaceship, and you can actually see it. It's all hand drawn, which is absolutely amazing. They have a cutaway section where the drone or the droid sits in this area here, and you could actually see R2-D2's head is extended out of his body, and it's kind of like his body's on the bottom and his head's poking out the top. It's absolutely, I'm fascinated by it. again, go check that guy's work out. I hope you had time to see his name. But yeah, really, really bloody good stuff. Again, like I said, the idea of cool back in the day with Star Wars was just amazing. Inspired by a lot of it was inspired by World War II dogfights and World War II airplanes and stuff like that as well. What am I going to do here? What do I do here? Do I... let's see. If I push this back and then I... Let's... Yeah, at some point, like I mentioned before, at some point I'm going to do more of this outside of the live stream so I can get it done faster. Oh god, got some things here. Sammy says we need more Toby Spider-Man 3. I agree, and I think you're going to be quite you're going to be kind of unhappy with Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. I don't know if anyone's read the spoilers that come out about Doomsday, but it's not looking good for the Marvel universe. Kexer says my mate wanted to see Doom 2 at the cinema, so it forced me to watch them all. Oh dear, that's unfortunate. Comics Legend says it's essentially inspired by motorcycle helmets. Oh, you mean the Halo version? Yeah. They just look amazing. Again, the essence of cool, right, is the thing when it comes to these characters. Kind of want to deviate a little bit from the helmet. It's crazy because every time I try to deviate from it, it's kind of pull too much of something else into it. So I want to make it its own type of design, but at the same time have that. It looks like a nose there. Same time have some inspiration of Halo in it, I guess. I'm at the Dynameshes again. Yes, better. I don't like that. It makes him look like he's got a sad face. I'll take that out. Let's just solo this. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a massive hard surface artist, to be fair. There's probably there's probably other artists that watch these like hard surface things that I do, and they're like, probably screaming at the screen, like yelling at the screen, "You're doing it all wrong." Doesn't matter. As long as it comes out the way you want it, it doesn't matter, does it? Ange 4721 says, how long does it take you to finish this kind of model? This could take me weeks to finish, to be fair, because if it's like for a game, it could take weeks, because, well, actually it will take less if I wasn't talking as much during the live stream, but yeah, it could take weeks because it's so complex. The shapes are all very complex, and then it comes, this is just a block out stage, by the way. We're not even thinking about the cleanup, the retopo, then the hard surface, actual hard surface part of ZBrush. So the way that I work like this, which is a bit of a long way of doing it, but I find it's more, it's for my sanity. It works a lot better, right? It's because I'm used to sort of organic sculpting. Now you could go down the route of starting off with hard surface shapes and sort of work with primitives and ZModeler to create these things, but I think a lot of artists still use this organic style of sculpting for hard surface things, but I don't think they take it to the degree that I take it to, right? I kind of haven't found that cutoff point for hard surface, because just yet. A lot of artists would probably say that this is perfectly fine as a base, and I'm now going to go in and do the retopo and then the hard surface adaptation of it, right? Whereas I prefer to go a little further than that and take it a little further, because I get into the sculpting of it all. But there is another stage to this, and it's called the retopo stage and the sort of hard surface stage, 2 stages. So what you'll do is you'll retopo everything so you get nice clean topology inside of ZBrush, and then you'll go in and do the panel work, which is all the hard surface detailing stuff. So the panel work, the all the little sort of hard surface things that come about when you're making a hard surface character. And trust me, there's nothing better than seeing a model like this one we're doing right now in its cleanest forms, right? Like the lines are all clean and smooth, and there's no bumps or anything like that. That's the best thing about hard surface sculpting in ZBrush, is when you see the final product. I think Iron Man, if anyone's seen an Iron Man suit, it's that level of clean that, you know, it is what you look for when you're doing hard surface characters. That sort of really precise lines and stuff like that. Okay, that's working pretty nicely. It's kind of like a scout, sort of scout instead of a marine. Scout marine or something? I don't know. Kate says, oh, just talking to each other. At least you finally watched a movie. Yeah, that's true. At least you finally got around to watching a modern movie. Alright, cool. So, looking at what we have at the moment, I kind of want to change the chest again. I think this chest is just, it's too basic, you know. I think we can change that up a bit more. In fact, I love this X thing that's going on here on this guy. Maybe we can incorporate something. Maybe just go balls to the walls with this and just change it completely, like bringing in something like this, you know, a sort of shape in here. I'll tell you what, I will do that outside of this because that's going to take me some time to think of. This part here needs to be thinner. I'm going to mask that out. Okay, that works nicely. I want to take all of that out. Casey says the shoulders look too close to the body in my opinion. Yeah, I think you're right. There's some adjustments needed now. Because I made the chest slightly wider, we now need to adjust the shoulder pads. Maybe, like this guy here, you can see where his shoulder's up here, but his actual shoulder guard's slightly further down. Maybe we can incorporate that as well. This chest piece, the base here, maybe pull that in a little bit. And then this whole collar, it just looks weird, right? Am I the only one that can see that? It looks a bit weird. If we just make this smaller. I don't know, maybe something I need to look into a little bit more. We are working with perspective turned off, by the way, so we might want to turn that on again. Maybe the helmet should come down a little bit. That's better. Okay. Oh, that's something I've been watching recently. One Piece. Has anyone else watched One Piece on Netflix? And has anybody watched the One Piece anime? Because I'm kind of watching both at the same time. Because I want to know just how far Netflix has sort of pulled away from the original anime. And I gotta say, I really do like the adaptation of Netflix's live action version, to be fair. It's an acquired taste, I must say. It's one of those things that you kind of have to give it a little bit of leeway because it is adapting a anime, and the anime is batshit crazy when it comes to the movements and the talking and the visuals. So I can see how making it live action could be quite daunting. So I think they did quite well with the live action version. I've only seen season 1 so far. I haven't seen season 2 yet. I think I'm moving on to that soon. But yeah, I like it. I think it works as its own thing. It you know it's like I say, it's batshit crazy in the anime, and to be able to ground that in reality, I think that takes a lot of work, and I'm kind of okay with the amount of work it took to make that thing, that sort of show, believable. Oh god. Casey says it doesn't look like it would possible for the character to turn his neck properly. Are we talking? Yeah, I think what we'll have to do is do something in this general area. Well, I'm not going to focus on that tonight. Don't have the energy right now to focus on the that part there. But I do really think that this chest piece here is just out of sync with the rest of the character now. Now that we have the helmet as well with them, it just looks so bland, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we could just add to it or adjust it a little bit. Joseph says, just watch Spider-Man trailer. I officially can't wait. Oh, okay. I think there's a lot of hints in that Spider-Man trailer to the mutated version of Peter Parker. Anybody else watch the 90s Amazing Spider-Man cartoon series? There was that it was Peter Parker's turning into a spider. That episode. I think that's what they're going for with this new film, the latest Spider-Man film. So be prepared to see Tom Holland with, what was it, 6 arms and 2 legs. If they go for it. I mean, I'm not sure if they'll go for it, but if they do go for it, that'll just be really cool to see in the cinema. Not sure about the visor still, guys. Sammy says, yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah. Bloody good times when you were a kid. Wish I was back then. If I went back in time to see myself as a kid, I would tell myself, look, life's a piece of shit. That fucking, what was that? The Life of Brian. Has anyone seen that? Life of Brian? You know, when they start singing about life, always look on the bright side of life. I think I'll just go back in time and sing that to myself. Sammy says, I even had 6-arm Spider-Man toy. Oh wow. I just collected the cards, the cards, the collectibles. Me and my brother collected the trading cards, and they're, I mean, I don't know if they're worth much anymore, but you know, people go crazy for that shit. Joseph says there was a sequence there when he was swings and holding someone in his hand. Meanwhile, that is an exact comic book cover. Just on the cover, he's holding Stanley. Yeah, I saw that one. There's also another one where those knives are thrown in the air and he's sort of swinging in that sort of pose that he has. I think that's another comic book cover, or it could be a playing card, a collectible card cover, a card image. But yeah, I mean, it's looking good. I will be honest, it is looking good. I think it's all down to Sony, really. It's not really got anything to do with Marvel anymore. I think Sony have been able to take that character and make it work, really. Although I'm not happy with what they did with Venom, though. Although Venom looked good, and the actor Tom Hardy is a good actor, there's no doubt that. I just hated the way he was a anti-villain. When you know, he is a villain, he should be a villain, and he shouldn't be an anti-villain villain. But you know, hopefully they'll make him a villain again at some point. What are we going to do here? We could give it a mouth, sort of that sort of thing. I don't think that's good. Let me see if there's a image reference to another helmet somewhere. That would be an easy helmet to make. Just a mask. Oh, that's cool. I've already decided on a shape. What have we done on this guy? Okay, so they haven't gone the way I've gone, which is great, so I can design anything I want in here. That's weird. Start the base here. Cut that there. This will join that part. See, this is why I'm not a massive fan of hard surface, because everything has to click with each other, and everything needs to obey a certain type of rule when you're sculpting. That organics, you don't really have to obey too much. I mean, you still have to obey some rules, but they're a lot easier to figure out than it is with hard surface. I'm gonna have to dynamesh this again. Get some more topology in here. Okay. Remember, guys, there is a 70% off on my Flip Normals site at the moment if you wanted to grab models, brushes, or tutorials, because I'm having a fire sale, seeing as Flip Normals is closing their online store. So you'll have until the end of March, not November, the end of March to grab anything on there for 70% off. So if you wanted to learn how to use Substance Painter as a beginner, or you wanted to sculpt the Death Claw from Fallout 4, then those tutorials are currently 70% off on Flip Normals. And some pretty good tutorials as well, if I don't say so myself. Especially the Death Claw, because, you know, who doesn't want to sculpt the Death Claw once and have it in your portfolio? So check out the link in the description box below for the Flip Normals sort of site. Comics Legend says, sometimes it's better to figure things out while you are retopping. True. Very true. Sometimes when you're retopping, you'll have to adjust it anyway, because it doesn't always work out, you know? So as an organic sculptor, you can sort of sculpt, you're sculpting things organically. So I'm sculpting hard surface quite organically at the moment. But when it comes to hard surface, sometimes those organic sculpts won't make sense, right? So like this part here, you can see how I have this curve here and cut and a face there and then the face here. Well, it'll probably be easier just to have that one piece as a face rather than having this edge in here to try to retopo. So you kind of have to figure things out. You can maybe polish that up into one face. But yeah, I mean, if you ever watched anything on online, so if you ever watched someone take a organically sculpted hard surface model and take a final image, sometimes it doesn't look exactly, well, the majority of the time it doesn't look anything like the organic version. It has its own version at the end when they've hard surfaced it. So it's not like it has to be 100% like the concept at all times. It can be slightly different. But this is a concept, so we don't have to worry too much about the hard surface side of it, just for this piece. Because as I said, it'll take a long time to retop with that. Okay. Joseph says, are tutorial or courseworks okay in the portfolio, or they don't looking professional in the studios or potential clients' eyes, even if the result is good? Yeah, I'd still put it in. If it's a good sculpt and it's your own sculpt, why not? You know, I mean, if you haven't got much in your portfolio as a beginner and you have a sculpt from a tutorial that you've worked on, stick it in. There's no problem with it. You can always go back and change your portfolio, but you kind of want something, you definitely want things in your portfolio rather than not having it in your portfolio. So I would say that having a tutorial style model in your portfolio still shows that you can learn, you know, the basics and that sort of thing. So it's showing that you can use the programs, right? So don't feel like you can't use it. I would definitely use it. I mean, when I first started off, I didn't even have like proper tutorials to teach you how to sculpt. There was no such thing as let's learn to sculpt a death claw from Fallout, or Substance Painter using a character from Doom, right, to do your Substance Painter textures and stuff. There's no such thing as that when I was learning. I literally had to build the character myself and then learn the program pretty much by myself. There were a few, not many, but a few good websites. But sometimes those sites wouldn't have the full tutorial. So you'd have you know, half a tutorial of something that you're creating, and then you're left in the dark afterwards. So yeah, you know, don't feel too disheartened by using. I would just use it. Just go for it. You know, why not? Caser says, at the end of the day, it's still your sculpt, so it shouldn't matter. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. It's your sculpt. It's not like I did the sculpting and you're just going to take it and use it. You know, the idea for those tutorials is to follow along. There are some helpful, like, source files in case things don't go great. You could just use the source files, but at least you're, you know, working on learning. So don't be too disheartened by that. Yeah. I mean, if I had the tutorials that I've created, if I created tutorials or had tutorials that were created by someone like me back in the day, I think my ZBrush skills would have been a lot further on than they are. So in some ways, you know, students who try to learn the stuff should definitely buy tutorials and buy my tutorials. Obviously I'm going to say that. Yeah, but there's plenty of tutorials out there you can go and grab and sort of work with. Not just mine, although mine's the best. I gotta say that, guys. I have to say that. Okay, I think we're getting quite a nice base head going. You can kind of see where I'm trying to break up the design, like where would I put edges and stuff like that, right? And seams. Okay. Oh, this needs some cleanup at the back here, but we can fix that later. Okay. Katie says, would have been funnier if you started chatting shit about your own tutorial. Yeah. I'm not going to chat shit about my tutorials. Joseph says, a few weeks ago I bought the pipeline tutorial and I'm glad I did. Didn't start it yet because now on the fire sale I grabbed the Squig sculpt tutorial so I can use my own model for the pipeline tutorial. Yeah, no, that's pretty good actually, because that kind of leads into the pipeline tutorial. So with the pipeline tutorial, I actually give you the high poly squig, but if you buy the tutorial on how to sculpt the squig and then go into the pipeline tutorial, then you're going to be seeing the full pipeline on how a character is created in game studios from scratch, because you'll already have the ZBrush version or the ZBrush tutorial, which is a massive sort of part of the pipeline in game studios. Like ZBrush takes up quite a lot of time to sculpt a character, right? Then the rest of it, like the UV map, texturing and implementation, is, if you think of it as 100%, it's like the ZBrush stuff is 60, let's say 60% of the work. Then retopoing is 10%, substance texturing is 20%, and then implementation into an engine, well, yeah, I'd say 30%. Then implementation into engine is about another 10 or 5%, something like that, you know, small amount. But the majority of it is the ZBrush stuff. So if you learn from the ZBrush stuff first, then take that model, into the pipeline tutorial and use your own version rather than the one I gave you, then you'll be learning the steps on how to create a character for game ready sort of studios. Okay, says don't forget you can use the lazy mouse feature to make it easier to sculpt the panel indentations. Yep, definitely. I don't think I've gotten to that point yet, but yeah, you're totally right. You can just come over here to stroke, lazy mouse, turn lazy mouse on, drop the lazy step. Oh, we're on H polish. 1 second. There we are. Drop the lazy step, bring up the lazy mouse, and then you'll get cleaner lines for panel lines. You can. I think there's a way you can. No, that's not right. I'm thinking of Substance Painter. Sorry. But yeah, you can use this to make the lines sharp for any of those panel pieces, which is pretty good. In fact, you could probably do that if you would take this into Substance. You could probably do all the panel lines inside of Substance, instead of doing it inside of ZBrush, because although the panel lines will give you a nice curvature map inside of Substance, and map to use to mask with, I still think that Substance has a great features into making panel lines, and making them nice and crisp and clean. Whoops. Tomorrow says, I second Cakster's idea for shark or fish for the next time. Maybe a prehistoric shark or fish with some kind of imaginative, unusual features. Wow, don't ask for much, do you? I mean, why not? We can discuss that at a later date. But definitely, if that's what you guys want, then that's what I will provide. I am a dancing monkey for you guys. But I don't dance. Okay. And I think you can also put the visor here. Be nice to have those lines on the visor, like just coming through here or some shit. But we can figure that later. What we're trying to do is just get these big shapes going right now. Oh no, that's horrible. Don't do that. And Tora says, and then into some underwater inspired lighting and post-processing infrastructure. Yeah. It's a long list you got there. What am I getting in return? It says, I'd like to see the starting process of the fish, like the sea spheres process or body shape creation. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, a fish is not difficult, right? With the Z-sphere stuff. So that should be easy enough. If we're just making a basic shark, sort of white, a megalodon or something like that, something like a great white megalodon or something, that's not too difficult. Obviously we'll look into it closer at a closer point, and get an idea of what you guys want. I do like doing sea creatures, to be fair. They're quite easy once you get used to. Once you get the base model down, they're quite easy to do. Okay. Joseph says, highly appreciated the T-Rex long video. I was waiting for this for a while, so thanks. Yeah, no problem. I'm actually thinking of, because like I said, I'm doing a lot of these making of videos at the moment instead of doing time-lapse videos anymore, because you know, it's just, I've got so many models now that are concepts that I'm now looking into doing making of videos in the future, and that's one of the ones that I want to take further into a finalized model with textures and stick it into Marmoset tool bag, like I did with the face hugger and the what was the other one? The demon. That's the one. The demon. In fact, I can show you the latest one I've been working on. Just give me 1 second to load it. I'll show you this, and then I think I'll stop the stream. So, because it's about 2 hours in. So, I'll just quickly show you what I've been working on. Move this that way. So, I hope you guys can remember this one. But I've been working on the dragon from the book cover designs that I created. So I took one of the dragons, the Brizinger, I think that's what it's called. And I took it through to Substance Painter and you know, Maya, and textured it inside a Substance, brought it into Marmoset tool bag, and this is what I've got. So I think it came out pretty nicely. There will be a making of this one, so you'll be able to see the steps that I took inside Substance. I think it's going to be more Substance heavy, because this is the first one that I'm going to explain how I use fill layers to create different textures as a non-destructible method. But you can see it's quite, you know, it's quite nice. There's room for improvement, obviously. This was just a very quick texture. I love the way the eye came out. I think it's really cool. So yeah, look forward to seeing this one. There's quite a few scenes with different lights as well. So I've got different light setups. I love the way the scales sort of hit the scales. There's a little bit of gold on each edge of the scale as well, which is used a masking for that. But on each edge of these scales, there's a bit of gold sticking out. If you see just a little hint of gold on the ends of it, and of course the horns are gold as well. But yeah, I really like the texture work that came out on this one. But yeah, so look forward to seeing that video soon. I just got to do all the bloody video editing now and the voiceover of this, and then it will be done. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a sneak peek of the character. You know, it would be nice. I was going to say it would be nice to take this character into Substance Painter, even if it looks like this, and see if we can do some texture work to it and make it look a little bit more realistic. But we'll see. Just trying to. Just gonna make it slightly bigger. I don't know. This is difficult. Scaling is everything when it comes to this sort of stuff, you know, getting the right scale for things in body parts and whatnot. It's all very important to get it looking right. Kater says, have you got any Adobe Firefly credits for the AI stuff? I haven't at the moment, but I will next month. I think I ran through a few things in my personal time just to see what you know, that sort of stuff could be created from it. But it's nothing really much to show. I don't think I even downloaded them properly. So yeah, nothing much to show right now for that stuff. Kixer says the gold makes the scales look wet, looks like real scales that you see on iguanas. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's difficult to get the roughness. That's the one map I find when it comes to texturing, which is the most difficult to get correct, because you make it too rough, it looks sort of boring, right? But if you make it look too wet, then it looks kind of plastic. I don't know, it's a fine line between plastic and latex, or I don't know, really wet looking features when it comes to the roughness map. So you kind of need to play around with it a bit more and adapt it every now and then, because you know when you're doing something like that, it's not going to be done first time. You're going to have to go back and forth multiple times through to Substance Painter to get the correct values for those sort of things. So yeah, it came out quite nice, so I'm happy with it. All right, guys, that's coming up to nearly 2 hours. I think we did pretty well with this helmet. It's nice to see a helmet on him now, and now that we have the helmet, we can, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to force things to look more like that helmet, right? So I'm just going to make these slightly bigger. I think what's different about this guy compared to Halo Master Chief is, you see these vents on the back here? They give the impression that his shoulders, or these shoulders parts here, are higher, whereas our one doesn't have that, so it looks like he's shorter. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to make him look more top heavy, I guess, in this area, general area here. And that could be just simply coming in here and sculpting that sort of X thing along this, well, that's weird there. If you look from front, just sculpting that sort of X thing that the other character has, or adjusting things like, you know, in particular areas to make it look more sci-fi. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Next week, we're going to continue with the Prowler. I think we're moving on to the legs. I believe it's the legs. We're going to move on to the legs of that creature and block those into the next stage. I just want to say thank you to all my members and all my followers. And if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe, and also share it to other people. Hopefully this won't take too long and we can get on to the next creature. But I'm kind of enjoying the process of making this. I'm not sure about you guys, but I quite enjoy the process of this one. It's coming along quite nice. I think the back looks really good. It's just the front looks weird. Anyway, gonna stop talking about that. Have a great weekend, and if you know, don't do anything stupid. And if you're gonna do something stupid, make sure you're not drunk. Yeah, and also flip normals before I go. Flip normals. There is a sale, 70% off, fire sale. Go grab anything and everything for 70% off in the description box below. It's going to end on the 31st of March, so take it as you can. Take it now, take advantage of it now, and go and grab whatever you like on there. All right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hope you have a good weekend. See you later. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more exclusive content and want to support my work further, then please check out my Patreon page at MLW_creative for more. Also, view past live streams you might have missed in Tier 3 tutorial support, where I will be archiving future streams moving forward. If you are interested in other full-length tutorials, brushes and models, then check out my online stores for more useful content. I would also like to thank all my subscribers and patrons for supporting me for this long. Again, thanks for watching and stay safe.